It's time for a brand new episode of the Genuine ScLoHo Media and Marketing Podcast. My name is Scott Howard, also known as ScLoHo. This is an ongoing collection of media, marketing, and personal insights with a fresh update nearly every week since 2017. This is the audio version of an article that you can read at my website, scotthoward.me, scotthoward.me. Altogether, I've published over 1,600 articles. And this one is titled, How to Hunt for the Good Eggs. Even though I'm recording this at the Federated Media Studios in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I work for WOWO, that's WOWO Radio, and this is being promoted by my employer, everything that I say or write is strictly my own thoughts and not necessarily the opinions of Federated Media or any of their affiliations and or advertisers. Well, in this country, we have a growing shortage of workers. This isn't new. And it's not surprising if you've been paying attention. Generationally speaking, the baby boomers were the largest generation in the last 150 years. Boomers got that moniker because at the end of World War II, the military men returned home and they started doing what men and women do, and this created growth in our population. Birth control options were limited as the birth control pill was not approved by the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, until about 1960. That left 14 years of baby making plus another 4 since the baby boomer generation covers the 18 years between 1946 and 1964. Subsequent generations have generally had lower birth rates, which has now created stagnation in population. According to the World Bank, 2009 was the turning point when the birth rate for women in the United States flatlined at an average of 2 children per woman, and it's become less than that since that year. Because it takes 2 people to make a baby, once we drop below that average of 2, we are not creating enough people to replace the ones that are dying. Now, I realize the average life expectancy has grown by nearly 10 years since 1960. But as I research the various sets of numbers, we really have an employee shortage that is not going to improve. After all, it takes 18 years to create an adult from scratch, if you know what I mean. And just because people are living longer doesn't mean that they're going to stay in the workforce all of their lives. When I was in management at the radio stations here, one of my major rocks was to recruit for our sales teams. It's still an ongoing process and one that we will never stop doing. If your company is having challenges with not having enough workers, you are not alone. Today, I'm sharing the contents of a recent Sound Advice newsletter that subscribers received this month. If you'd like a free subscription to this weekly email, just ask me. Email Scott at WOWO.com. That's Scott at WOWO.com. As a business owner, odds are that you've said this out loud in the past year. We just can't find any good people. Not any people. Good people. And you're not alone. Over 85% of business owners we've spoken to say their biggest challenge isn't customers, cash flow, or competition. It's hiring. Finding great employees today is a lot like hunting for Easter eggs at grandma's house. You know, the big prize egg is out there, the one with the $5 bill or the last Reese's egg. But somehow your cousin always finds it first, or you're stuck with 3 jelly beans and a Tootsie Roll. Well, in the job market, the big prize egg is what we call the passive job seeker, someone who isn't actively applying but would be open to a better opportunity if one came along. Now, these people already have jobs. They show up. They do good work. And a large majority of them are quietly dreaming of a better boss, a more fun culture, a little more flexibility and autonomy, more reliable coworkers, or a position where their talents are actually appreciated. They just haven't started to actively look yet. They're not on the job boards, they're not refreshing ZipRecruiter or Indeed, and they're definitely not scanning the classifieds like it was 1997. Why? Because the good employees know that changing jobs is a big decision and not to be taken lightly. Who's to say that their next employer, their manager, or coworkers are going to be any better than the situation they're in right now? The quick answer is you should be. But why aren't they already applying to your job opening? Well, because you're hunting in the wrong field. If you're only posting help wanted ads where the actively looking crowd hangs out, you're competing for the same small pool of applicants as everyone else, then wondering why every resume reads like the person who lost a bet and had to apply. Now, if you'd like some better employees, you need to have better bait. Something that cuts through the noise and makes the right person say, "Hey, that sounds like a place I'd like to work. Let's check it out." And that's where brand storytelling comes in. Because job boards speak mostly to the unemployed, your story can speak to the unfulfilled. If you would like to see 10 top tips on recruiting better applicants and hiring better employees, email me, scott@wowo.com. That's scott@wowo.com, and I'll send it out to you. Also reach out to me about the effective ways to reach these passive job seekers using the resources I have with my radio stations. I've created numerous campaigns and programs over the years to help companies with this challenge. Now, healthcare and transportation are two areas that have had a need for more workers for the past 25 years. Right now, I'm working with a trucking company that is aggressively looking to find new drivers. Some of the improvements in tech have eliminated the need for certain types of workers, but as those jobs were being eliminated, those people working in those positions needed retraining for a new job or career. This trucking company is doing just that. They're offering everything that a person needs, but has zero experience. So, do you need some ideas or help? Let's talk. If you have any questions about advertising or marketing that you don't know who to ask, you can ask me. Email me, scott@wowo.com. That's scott@wowo.com.
Podcasts by Federated Media.